Maria, I believe your guest, I'm told, has arrived.
Yes, Dylan, thanks very much. Michael Moore taking his war on health care to Wall Street today. He's calling for investors to divest from health insurance companies, basically saying that the profit-taking companies should not provide health insurance as well. Michael Moore, the director of the film and producer, is here with me on Wall Street. So nice to have you.
Thank you. What are we doing out on the street, though? I thought we were going to do this inside.
We were going to do it inside, but I guess we thought that your people had already applied to be a guest at the exchange, and we didn't apply for you, and as a result, it was too late at the end of the day. So I'm sorry about that. We'll do it outside.
Oh, no, I'm sure that so we could go in there tomorrow is what you're saying. They'll let me on the floor tomorrow?
Exchange.
I
don't. We don't have the permission to do that. Anyway,
has anyone else ever been denied permission with you as a guest?
Hey, let's talk about health care for a second.
That's all right. I don't want to get in trouble because you do have to go back in there and work.
You're here on Wall Street, and I know that the analyst community, the healthcare analysts, have seen the movie. What are you trying to accomplish coming to Wall Street?
First of all, we are asking people to divest from health insurance companies. We see no need for health insurance, private health insurance companies in this country. People in this country don't need a middleman between the doctor and the patient. And this has got to stop, where doctors have got to call an insurance company and talk to a guy in a cubicle 1,000 miles away to get permission whether or not to treat the patient. That just has to stop. It's absolutely insane. And I'm hoping that the candidates running for office will come up with a universal health care plan that's free for everyone and is not controlled by these private health insurance companies.
The film, I watched it, and you really look around the world at different plans. You look in Canada, you look throughout Europe. Is that really the right solution, though? I mean, what's the solution? You're here. Obviously, this is a broken system in this country.
Right.
But how do you fix it?
We fix it by taking the one thing they do right in Canada, and the one thing they do right in Britain, and the one thing they do right in France, and put it together and call it the American system. I mean, that's what we're good at doing that. It's called the melting pot. And but all we hear about is, oh, there's this problem with the Canadian system, there's this problem with the British system. Well, yeah, so don't do the things they do wrong. They've figured out a lot of things. The top 25 industrialized countries, 24 do it that way, free universal health care. We do it this way. Are we saying that those 24 are wrong and we're right? I mean, they have better health care in those countries. They live longer than we do.
Better health care. Frankly, if I'm going to get sick, I want to get sick in this country. I don't want to get sick in France. I don't want to get sick in Britain. We have the best doctors in this country.
Exactly, especially if you work for CNBC. Or if you're me, I'm a member of the Directors Guild. So we have, you and I, very good insurance. But we have 47 million Americans with no insurance. Those that have insurance are being told constantly that this we won't pay for this because you went to the wrong hospital. That you had a pre-existing condition, so we're going to kick you off our insurance rolls. All those things just don't make for a very good system, and it's not a fair system either. Some do get very good care, and a lot of people don't get any care at all.
The documentary is really making a lot of waves and causing some controversy. I'm sure you saw the op-ed in the Journal today.
Yes.
Who's really sicko is the op-ed. And I want to read you what Dr. David Gratzer says. He says, a Canadian government study recently found that only about half of patients are treated in a timely manner in Canada. In France, a similar situation. In Britain, the Department of Health recently acknowledged 1 in 8 patients wait more than a year for surgery.
For elective surgery. They don't wait for emergencies. If you have a life and death situation in those countries, you are seen by a doctor. That's the truth. And Business Week just had a story this week about our waiting times. Women having to wait 6 weeks for a mammogram. I mean, if you have breast cancer, 6 weeks, that could be a life or death issue. Shouldn't have to wait at all in those countries or this country. And the way you fix waiting times is you fund the system properly. And when they do that in those countries, those systems work. Trust me, with whatever flaws they have in Canada or Britain or whatever, you will not find a Canadian or a Brit willing to exchange their national health insurance card for our HMO cards. That will never happen.
Let's take a look at the clip about Guantanamo Bay. Listen to this.
Okay.
There was actually one place on American soil that had free universal health care.
Which way to Guantanamo Bay?
Detainees representing a threat to our national security are given access to top-notch medical facilities.
Permission to enter. I have 3 9/11 rescue workers. They just wanted some medical attention at the same time that the evildoers are getting it. Hello?
That's an amazing story. Detainees are getting free health care.
And our rescue workers right here down the street who are there at ground zero because they aren't city employees, so they're volunteers that day. They go without health care. They're suffering from these respiratory illnesses that they got at ground zero. we won't take care of our own 9/11 heroes, but we are providing free full medical and dental to the al-Qaeda detainees at Guantanamo Bay.
How do you propose this government is going to pay for health care for everybody?
Oh, actually, if we actually have a universal system that the government manages, it's going to actually save us money. It won't cost us as much. We spend so much now through private insurance. 15 to 30% of the private health insurance budget is for overhead, bureaucracy, red tape, and profit. Once you remove that and have the government run it, surprise, surprise to those of you watching CNBC, actually the government is more efficient at many things, especially when it comes to health care. Medicare.
I don't know if our viewers are going to believe that. You know,
No, of course not. They're right now. They're like, what did he just say?
Some people feel that you are anti-capitalist. You're anti-free market, are you?
Actually, the people who say that they're for capitalism, they're the anti-free market. They're the people who actually won't allow the American people, by a majority, want universal health care, but for some reason we don't have it. And it's because of this monopoly, because of the health insurance companies having this kind of control. That's what the real problem is. And I'm serious. I want to say this. Medicare, which is a national health plan that we have in this country, and most seniors actually are quite happy with Medicare. 3% of the overall budget of Medicare goes to administrative costs and bureaucracy. 3%. 15 to 30% if you're a private health insurance company. So if you're an investor, if you really care about this sort of thing, I mean, you're putting a lot of your money is going to things that aren't providing actual care to the patients. And can I actually just say a word on behalf of the health insurance industry?
Yeah.
They are required by law. They have a fiduciary responsibility to maximize profits for their shareholders. That's what the law requires them to do.
Well, they are working for shareholders, absolutely.
That is correct. And so because of that, the way that they can maximize profits is to deny care, is to not pay out claims. The more claims they pay, the less profit they make. You should never have the idea of profit enter into a health decision. We wouldn't allow it for the fire department or the police department. We wouldn't say, well, you know, we've got to make sure the fire department posts a profit. We wouldn't turn it over to a private company, have investors invest in it, and then say, well, some people are going to get fire protection and other people aren't. We wouldn't allow that, would we? It would be immoral, and we have to see health care as the same sort of life and death issue.
Is there a middle ground? Is there a middle ground where government can work with private companies and still provide good health care?
No, not with health insurance. There's no middle ground. Now, there is a middle ground with the pharmaceutical companies. We need medicine. They need to exist. But they need to be strictly regulated like a public utility. And I know some people, again, aren't going to like hearing that. But, you know, utility stocks, aren't they considered the safe investment? I mean, it's maybe you don't make as much as maybe other industries, but it's a guaranteed investment. Everybody's going to be turning the lights on every day. They're always going to make money. And the pharmaceutical companies, people are going to need medicine. But
what kind of response are you getting from Wall Street, real quick?
Well, actually, a lot of people have seen the film, especially people who are more conservative than I am, are saying, wow, this has really affected me. This is something we need to fix. Because you know what? I believe that even conservatives, Republicans, people that believe in this building here also have a heart and do not want to see 47 million of their fellow Americans go without. I know most people don't believe that, and it's something that we've got to fix.
The film opens nationwide tomorrow. Congratulations. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. And next time, on the floor in the big house here.
Thank you so much. Dylan, I'll send it back to you.
Great work. Thank you, Maria.